Welcome to The Author's Edge, where we answer your burning questions about writing and publishing and building an author brand that stands out. I'm your host, Allison Lane, and I'm here to give you clear, actionable advice to move your book and your career forward. Every Thursday, we keep it short and sweet with a quick Q&A to tackle the questions you're asking most. Think of it as your weekly power boost to stay focused and inspired. So grab your tea and your notebook and a quiet moment, even if you're in your car, in carpool, waiting for your 14-year-old daughter to come out because your town does not have school buses. Or is that just me? I don't know. Okay, let's dive in. Every week I'm answering somebody's question. If you have a question, email me at Allison with 2 L's at lanelit, as in literature.com. This week's question is a goodie, and this comes from a lot of people, so it's really a mashup, but let me read it to you for reals. Here's the question. How do I decide what my book should be about? I'm an expert on several topics. Thank you for your question, because we're all experts in several topics. And even if you're thinking, I'm only an expert in this topic, or I wouldn't call myself an expert, what I would say to you is if other people call you an expert, you are, and your humility is driving me crazy. Also, you don't have to be an expert. You might have had an extraordinary experience, which means you're going to write a memoir, or you're going to write a book about your perspective. It's not going to be memoir. Maybe it's self-help. Maybe it's a business book. You don't have to wait for somebody else's stamp of approval to write your book. You write what you want to write. But how do you decide? Don't do these 2 mistakes that I see people do. Number 1, they decide all by themselves. That's a terrible idea because you are not a good judge of what the book market is. Your brainstorm of 1 is not great. That's a focus group of 1 with you and a notebook trying to channel what your best idea is. Your best idea is the one that has an audience that's eager for it. Just because you think that there's a different, better idea, maybe according to you, but if people aren't ready for that one, if they need to be given the 101 version of your idea before they get to the 201, then start with where they are and what they're eager for. So that's number 1. Don't decide alone. Number 2, and this is another mistake that people make often, is they have a couple of subjects that they're devoted to, and they try and do a mashup. And you pouring your mashup subject matter, experience, and expertise into a book is like putting every ingredient in your kitchen into a soup. It's going to be gross. And we're not going to understand what it's supposed to be because it's too much. Also, it's going to be too dense and muddy and mushy. And did I say gross? Yes, gross. So you have to make the decisions. Here's how you make some decisions so that you avoid, number 1, a focus group of 1. And number 2, creating a stew that no one will want to read. Ask the internet. Start with a digital detective work. This is what I call digital detective work. Start here. Open a Google window so that you can do a search, but open a window that is in an incognito window so that the internet doesn't know who you are, because you don't want it feeding back to you information that's based on what it knows you already know. So open an incognito window and then ask in the questions that you normally get, that people ask you all the time, ask those questions while you're incognito. And Google will tell you, if you scroll down a little bit, it will give you a little section called People Also Ask. And People Also Ask is like Google is doing a global search of the questions most asked about your topic. And here's the key. Don't just go on those 4 questions. So it'll give you 4 questions. Click on the one that's most connected to your topic or your subject area. Click on it and unclick. And you'll see that that list expands to 6 questions instead of 4. Click on another question and unclick. And suddenly your list of 6 goes to 8 or 9. Do this over and over again until you have 40 questions. And then you'll know, wow, people are really asking questions about this subset of my subject. Or here's something that they don't understand. It will open up your mind to what people actually need, and then what your book can really focus on to answer that need. When you're an expert in an area or a subject matter leader, or even you have developed a method, usually when experts or when authors want to write their nonfiction book, they think that their book has to have so much value, and they equate the value to how much knowledge they have to pass on. That's not what's valuable. What's valuable is answering what's needed. Nobody wants you to stuff all your knowledge into one book. It's so much. You've got to give people a chance to absorb what you're sharing. And if you can do that and be patient with people and give them a couple of steps forward, then great. So avoid doing the focus group of 1. Avoid a mashup of your book because it becomes very dense and horrible and confusing. And allow people to tell you what they need. And then choose. So if you like to write about 3 different subjects, do these 3 steps in using Google, Incognito window, ask those questions, expand the people also ask, and then take a look at those questions. And then of those, you can get closer to what the need is. Let people's need be your guide. Okay, that is it. And I want you to let me know how things go, what you've decided on, and what you're going to do next. I can't wait to hear about your progress.